So nobody believed that this was possible. Nobody thought that you could crash Bugatti, buy it back, and nonetheless fix it. Well, that's what they said. What do you got to say to that, Mr. Matt?
I think we can rebuild this.
You think so?
I think we can.
Nobody thought this story would ever happen. A destroyed Bugatti Chiron per sport, a crashed hypercar worth millions of dollars, and a rebuild project that many people believe was completely impossible. Yet somehow, against all odds, the car returned to the internet once again, this time with even more controversy surrounding it. At the center of the story are two names that car fans across YouTube know very well: Alex Gonzalez and Mat Armstrong. Over the last few years, both men have become huge figures online for completely different reasons. Alex became famous for his luxury lifestyle, his rare supercars, and his shocking Bugatti ownership story. Mat Armstrong became famous for rebuilding crashed supercars that most people would consider beyond repair. When these two worlds finally collided, the internet immediately exploded with theories, opinions, and arguments. Some people believed the rebuild was genius. Others believed it should never have happened at all. But now Alex Gonzalez is finally speaking openly about the real story, and according to him, there's much more happening behind the scenes than viewers first realized. The reason this story became so massive is because this was never just another damaged sports car. The Bugatti Chiron per sport is one of the rarest and most expensive modern hypercars ever created. Only a very small number were built, making the car incredibly exclusive even among millionaires. Every part of the car is engineered with extreme precision, from the carbon fiber body panels to quad turbocharged W16 engine that produces unbelievable power. Owning one is already rare. Crashing one is almost unthinkable. Rebuilding one after it has been declared a total loss is something most people believed could never happen successfully. That alone turned the story into internet history. When photos of the damaged Bugatti appeared online, people immediately assumed the car was finished forever. The front end looked destroyed, important structural parts appeared damaged, and many viewers believed the repair costs would be impossible to justify. Yet Alex Gonzalez refused to give up on the car. Before understanding the rebuild itself, it is important to understand who Alex Gonzalez actually is. Alex, known online as FX Alex G, built his online reputation through social media, luxury cars, and Forex trading content. According to his own story, he came from a hard-working immigrant family in Miami and started from humble beginnings. He often talks about working regular jobs as a teenager while learning trading during his free time. Whether people fully believe his financial success story or not, there is no denying that he eventually became extremely wealthy at a very young age. His lifestyle quickly attracted millions of views online. Expensive watches, supercars, private jets, and luxury experiences became part of his internet identity. But among all the cars he owned, nothing matched the attention created by the Bugatti Chiron per sport. The car became a symbol of success for him. It was not simply transportation. It represented achievement, status, and years of ambition. That is why the crash became such a huge emotional moment online. When the Bugatti was involved in a serious front-end accident in Miami, the internet reacted immediately. Pictures spread everywhere across social media. People debated whether the car could ever be repaired again. Insurance companies reportedly treated the damage as catastrophic, which is not surprising considering how expensive Bugatti parts are. Even small repairs on these cars can cost more than entire luxury vehicles. Once a Bugatti suffers major structural damage, the situation becomes even more complicated because the car requires highly specialized repair methods. Many believe the car would simply disappear forever into a salvage yard or private collection of damaged exotic vehicles. Instead, Alex Gonzalez shocked everyone by buying the car back after the insurance process. That single decision completely changed the story. The moment Alex decided to keep the Bugatti, the internet became divided. Some viewers respected his determination to save such a special car. Others believed it was reckless and irresponsible. Critics argued that a hypercar with major crash damage should never return to public roads. Supporters argued that cars are built to be repaired and driven rather than hidden away forever. Alex himself repeatedly defended the idea of rebuilding the Bugatti. He openly stated that these cars are machines meant to be used, not museum decorations. That mindset became a huge part of the online debate. Traditional collectors often believe rare hypercars should remain untouched and perfectly preserved. Internet car culture, especially on YouTube, tends to celebrate rebuilding, modification, and risk-taking. The Bugatti rebuild became the perfect example of those two worlds colliding against each other. This is where Mat Armstrong entered the story in a much bigger way. Mat Armstrong had already built a massive audience online by purchasing heavily damaged supercars and rebuilding them step by step. His videos became famous because they combined mechanical skill with emotional storytelling. Viewers loved watching impossible-looking projects slowly come back to life. Over time, Mat developed a reputation for taking on challenges that other people avoided completely. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and even Rolls-Royces appeared on his channel. But a crashed Bugatti Chiron per sport existed on a completely different level. Even experienced mechanics admitted that working on such a rare hypercar would be incredibly difficult. Parts availability, software systems, carbon fiber structures, and Bugatti-specific engineering all created massive obstacles. Yet that difficulty is exactly what made the project so attractive to viewers. According to Alex Gonzalez, bringing Mat Armstrong into the story was not simply about fixing a car. It was also about trust. Alex reportedly wanted someone who understood internet storytelling, understood difficult rebuilds, and understood the pressure that comes from millions of people watching every step. Traditional luxury repair shops often operate privately and quietly. YouTube works completely differently. Every mistake becomes public discussion. Every delay creates theories. Every missing part becomes a headline. Mat Armstrong already understood that environment better than almost anyone else in the automotive content world. Alex believed Mat had the experience and mindset needed to handle the challenge publicly. Once the rebuild videos started appearing online, attention exploded instantly. Millions of viewers clicked on the videos because they wanted to see whether rebuilding the Bugatti was truly possible. Some people watched because they admired the ambition. Others watched because they expected the project to fail spectacularly. That combination created enormous engagement. Every episode generated arguments in the comments section. Some viewers accused the project of being dangerous. Others praised it as one of the greatest automotive rebuild stories ever filmed for YouTube. The controversy itself became part of the entertainment point. One major reason the story became so intense was because Bugatti is not like most car manufacturers. The company carefully protects its image, reputation, and engineering standards. Bugatti vehicles are extremely exclusive, and ownership often involves direct relationships with the manufacturer. Because of this, many people believe Bugatti would never approve of a heavily damaged Chiron being rebuilt publicly on YouTube using aftermarket or salvage components. Rumors quickly spread online that the car had been blacklisted or that official support would become impossible. Whether every rumor was true or exaggerated, the idea alone made the story even more dramatic. Viewers became fascinated by the possibility of a rebuild happening outside the traditional Bugatti system. Alex Gonzalez eventually began speaking more openly about the reality behind the project. According to him, many internet assumptions were completely wrong. He explained that the rebuild process involved far more planning, expertise, and financial investment than viewers realized. Internet audiences often imagine rebuilds as simple entertainment projects, but hypercar restoration at this level becomes incredibly serious. Every part must be inspected carefully. Every system must function correctly. Safety becomes critical because the performance of the car is so extreme. Alex also pushed back against the idea that the project was purely about chasing views. From his perspective, the Bugatti had emotional value, and saving it mattered personally to AT. At the same time, Alex acknowledged that the internet attention surrounding the rebuild became overwhelming. Every update created new speculation. Some people accused him of using the controversy for publicity. Others accused Mat Armstrong of turning the Bugatti into content rather than treating it like a rare collector vehicle. Social media made the situation even more intense because clips and screenshots spread quickly without full context. Small moments became giant debates overnight. This pressure created an environment where every public statement mattered. One interesting part of Alex's recent comments involves his relationship with Mat Armstrong himself. Many viewers assumed their partnership was purely business, but Alex suggested there was genuine mutual respect between them. He praised Mat's confidence, work ethic, and willingness to attempt something that most people would never dare to touch. According to Alex, many professionals would simply refuse a project as difficult because failure could damage their reputation. Mat instead accepted the challenge, publicly with millions of people watching. That level of pressure is enormous. One mistake on a normal car is expensive. One mistake on a Bugatti Chiron Sport could become internet history for all the wrong reasons. Another important issue discussed by Alex was a criticism surrounding the use of salvaged or aftermarket parts. Purists argued that a rebuilt Bugatti could never truly regain its original status. Others believed any repaired hypercar automatically loses authenticity and value forever. Alex strongly disagreed with that mindset. He argued that rebuilding damaged vehicles has always existed in automotive culture. Race cars are repaired constantly at the stage of the Bugatti story. Everything has already moved far beyond a simple crash or repair job, because what started as a damaged hypercar is now turned into a global discussion about money, emotion, engineering limits, and human decisions under extreme pressure. And the more people learn about it, the more divided their opinions become. Since some believe that spending millions on a wrecked Bugatti makes no sense at all, while others think that's saving. Such a rare machine is worth every dollar and every hour of effort, and this is where the real tension begins. Because once Bugatti itself gave it official inspection and estimated repair cost of around $1.7 million, the situation became even more intense. Not because the number was surprising in the world of hypercars, but because it confirmed how deeply damaged the vehicle actually was. With carbon fiber parts needing replacement, electronic systems requiring full recalibration, and structural checks needed on the monocoque, which is the most important part of the entire car. And when people hear this, they often don't realize that in a hypercar like this, every single component is designed with extreme precision, meaning even a small repair is not like fixing a normal car, but more like rebuilding a piece of aerospace equipment, where a single headlight can cost more than a luxury house in some countries. And this is why insurance companies usually total these vehicles, instead of repairing them, because from their perspective it is safer and more logical to write off the loss than to attempt a complex rebuild that may or may not return the car to factory standards. But in this case, the owner's emotional decision completely changed the direction of the story, because instead of letting the car disappear into salvage yards or get stripped for parts, Alex Gonzalez chose to buy it back for nearly $1.9 million, which shocked many people because the car had already been declared a total loss, meaning it was officially considered uneconomical to repair. Yet he still brought it back. And this is where the internet reaction became even stronger, as people started questioning whether this was passion, pride, or poor judgment, while others saw it as a rare example of someone refusing to let a special machine die. And then the involvement of independent builders like Mat Armstrong added another layer of complexity, because now the rebuild was not just about money or emotion, but also about technical ability, and whether a damaged Bugatti could truly be restored outside of factory conditions, especially when manufacturers like Bugatti tend to closely monitor or even restrict how their vehicles are repaired after severe damage, which leads to debates about control versus freedom in automotive engineering. And as this discussion spread online, the story stopped being just about one crashed car and became a symbol of something much bigger, where one side of the audience believed that these hypercars should only exist in perfect, factory-approved condition, while the other side believed that once someone owns a machine, they should have a right to repair and rebuild it however they choose, even if it takes massive effort and risk. And this clash of ideas is what keeps the story alive, because there is still no final answer, no final outcome, and no clear resolution, only a growing sense of curiosity about whether the rebuild will succeed, whether the car will ever drive again in its original form, and whether all this effort will be seen as genius or madness when it is finally complete. At this point in the Bugatti story, the rebuild is no longer just a technical challenge or even a controversial internet project, because it has turned into something that sits right in the middle of engineering ambition and emotional obsession, where every single decision carries weight far beyond normal car repair work. And the deeper people go into it, the more they realize that rebuilding a hypercar like this is not just about replacing broken parts, but about understanding whether a machine that has been declared dead by insurance and heavily questioned by the manufacturer can truly be brought back to life in a way that still respects what it originally was. And this is where the pressure starts to build on everyone involved, because independent builders working on a car are not just dealing with physical damage, but also with strict expectations from a hypercar world, where every bolt, every panel, and every alignment must match extreme standards, and even the smallest error can turn a multi-million-dollar restoration into a failure, which is why this kind of project is so rare and so risky at the same time. And as the work continues, people online begin to split even more into different opinions, with some saying the rebuild is an inspiring example of modern automotive skill pushing boundaries, while others argue that it is unnecessary stress on a machine that should have been left alone after crash. And this debate becomes even stronger when discussions about Bugatti's involvement come back into focus. Because when manufacturers inspect and later distance themselves from heavily damaged cars, it creates a kind of invisible pressure that affects everything from parts sourcing to final approval, making the rebuild not just a mechanical process, but also a political and technical struggle at the same time. And through all of this, Alex Gonzalez remains at the center of the storm, because his original decision to buy back the wreck is what started everything. And now every stage of the rebuild reflects back on that one moment of emotional choice, where sentiment outweighed logic, and that decision continues to divide viewers even now, since some believe it was the only reason this rare Bugatti was even given a second chance, while others still insist it was an unnecessary financial risk that complicated everything from the start. Yet regardless of opinion, what cannot be denied is that this project has captured global attention in a way very few automotive stories ever do, because it combines rarity, destruction, wealth, engineering, and human emotion into one ongoing narrative. And as the rebuild slowly